Hey everybody, it's Tom, and I'm just coming to you to do that follow-up video at length from the segment on information theory, which I did a few weeks ago, in which I kind of stumbled a little bit in endeavoring to explicate what's involved in approaching information quantitatively. It seems a difficult task in virtue of the elasticity of information as a concept, its ability to reference literally any content matter. And the trick is, on one hand, to reformulate how we understand information in more or less formal as opposed to content-based terms. The other side of the equation is to find the most efficient, if you like, way in which to undertake that approach. And by and large, it seems that a binary tact, a reformatting of our approach to any given matter in terms of a 1, 0, up, down, yes, no, black, white kind of tact, is going to at least begin to answer that question. How is this accomplished? Well, to recapitulate, information is really, let us say, the set of differentials within a mass or a space which can be leveraged, exploited, levied to interpret that space as an expression of symbols. The symbols, in turn, are the carriers of meaning. So, take, for example, let's say the English alphabet, and we can add, just to make the math simple, a few, that's 26 letters, and then add like a few extra characters, punctuation marks, spaces, so you get a nice even 32 characters. If you're working with a message space of 32 characters, that is, there are 32 possible symbols that you could be relaying at any given moment in a transmission. How much information is required in order to transmit that symbol decisively? Well, as it turns out, the answer is, all things being equal, 5 bits. Why 5 bits? Why a bit being, which is actually an elision of binary digit, but being a register of a 1 or a 0 term. And the answer is that the 32 can be parsed in a way that corresponds to 2 to the 5th possibilities. You have to be kind of particular about how you do it, because every question you ask has to eliminate not just one of those characters, in which case you would be looking at what, 31 bits of information, or 32 bits, 31, because after you went through 31, there'd only be one possible left, right? Why 5 and not 30 some? The answer is that you can ask a question like this. You can say, is a character one of the first 16 or the last 16? So that's 50-50, and that eliminates it right there. And then the second question is it one of the first 8 or the second 8 of the second set, and so on and so forth. So by the time you have 5 questions, and it's possible that then you would arrive at the character designated. And this is a logarithmic approach to parsing the information, which is a natural measure in light of how you can reconfigure the thing that you're approaching through the lens of binary 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, well, that's sort of how it works. Now what you can do is you can graft onto this approach of logarithmically measuring information additional constraints vis-a-vis certain statistical realities that allow you to compress the number of questions that you have to ask even further. And so, for example, we know that the letter Q is almost always followed by the letter U. Not always, but almost always. Probably over 90% of its appearances within the English language, the letter Q will be followed by the letter U. So, when the letter Q arises, you could say, is the next letter U? And since 90% of the time the answer is going to be U, it's likely that then it will give you the first character, the character for which you're seeking, right off the cuff. If it's not U, then you can, proceed down the list to the other characters such as they occur probabilistically, like A. It's probably the next letter is A, or maybe it's T, insofar as sometimes it's used in abbreviations like court, QT, I don't know. So actually, it's quite astounding what you can accomplish through the cooperation of the logarithmic and the statistical tacts. And that's really what distinguishes what Claude Shannon did. He was able to marry those approaches along with invoking the conceptual apparatus of entropy as it had been evolved within physics through statistical mechanics, thermodynamics, and so on and so forth. So much by way of an effort to try and elucidate what I was kind of stumbling over there in that past video. I hope that's all right. Additionally, I'm going to put, if you check out, I think I'll put in one of the cards, there's a very nice video from Khan Academy that also explains the same thing, and I think they do a fair job of it as well. And of course, please feel free to check out my segment on information theory if you've not done so already. Alright guys, that was Tom. I hope you're doing alright, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.